So I probably started running when I was about this big. I grew up in Cape Town, South Africa, and the whole city is built around Table Mountain. So kind of nature is very much ingrained in my DNA. My father's a surfer and my mom's a runner, so I always grew up outside. And then when I got to maybe 15 years old, I started running track and road running competitively. So my love for running grew, and then it was kind of natural that my love for running and my love for being outdoors kind of came together, and that's when I started trail running probably at the age of 20. Yeah, so my mom is a big runner. She's still a trail runner. She probably runs more than I do actually. So she ran OCC this year. She's gonna run Ultra Trail Cape Town this year. She must come to Cappadocia next year. So running from my mom, and then kind of a love for nature from my dad. You know, being a surfer, we always grew up. We knew which way the wind was blowing, where the waves would be good. So it's I know in Guillemets' speech on the first day, he spoke a lot about how running is like a form of meditation. And for me, over the years, I've been asked lots of times, like, why you run? And I think at the beginning it was like, to be outside and I think now, after years of thinking about it, it's definitely the feeling of mindfulness and being able to kind of be in an incredible like meditative state, and there's nothing else, no other activity can do that for me. So I love to surf, I love to hike, but running is the only thing that gives you that ultimate sense of being in the moment, and just you escape from the world and you can just be present. That's why I love running. Track is too painful. No, I love track, and the tactical speed of the racing is amazing. But as soon as I started to spend more time on the trail, my love for nature kind of takes over, and you know, for me, there's no turning back, because it combines the feel of running and being outside, which is much better. Yeah, I think Marathon de Mont Blanc last year was almost like a dream. It was very surreal. I arrived with very little expectations and not really the belief that I could run with the guys like Killian and Mark and those guys. But I started the race and I was running with them, and the further we got, I was still running with them, and it was almost like a bit like a dream. To run with a lot of those guys, the guys I really look up to in the running world. So it was crazy, but at the same time, when you're running, you realize that everyone is just human, you know, flesh, bone. So, but it was an incredible experience, and whenever I get to race against those guys, it's awesome to see people run at that level, to compete at that level. Even on the bad days, when you struggle to compete, just seeing how those guys can run is incredible. There's nothing better than racing, no better feeling than racing. Cappadocia it's a beautiful area. The biggest thing for me is, you know, compared to any other place I've been to, it's completely different. It's unique. So, when you travel around Europe or you travel around to run these races, it's hard to compete with the Alps in terms of big mountains and alpine beauty. But Cappadocia, this area is completely different. So to come here, it's almost like going to another planet. And the running around's been amazing. We flew in a balloon this morning and we could look down on the route. And it's spectacular. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Definitely going to be back next year. I think probably the 65. I mostly run marathon distance races, but I think if you run 65, then you get to see more. You get to cover more ground. So in an area like this, I think it'd be a shame just to do the 35. So I think or the 30. I think I would like to do the 100, but maybe one day, not yet. But definitely the 65. I think that Cappadocia would be an incredible place to visit or race to run for any trail runner around the world, and mostly just because it's a completely different landscape to anything you've experienced.